Hey folks, this is Matt Rainwater, and today we're going to be reading episode 52. Pretty sure it's 52. Yeah, 52 of Trailer Park Warlock. Picking up from where we were last time. Everybody got sucked into a magical black hole. We're going to find out what that's about. And let's get started, alright? So this episode is titled The Battle of Barrosa. And having a little bit of a technical difficulty. Let's get going. See, Dan here is completely bored with the situation. Yawn. Everybody else is freaking out, right? I do hope that this barrier holds whatever terrible magic has been unleashed in the arena. I was not prepared for this, Master. Poor Hampton. Alright, so here we see our big magical vortex caused by the Wheel of Abandon. But we'll get into that later. I will just pointing out, I don't know, the drawing between the previous drawing of Dan and this drawing of Dan doesn't quite match up. And that's because this drawing was taken explicitly from reference that I found on the internet. Oh God, what do I do now? So now we're going to go into the vortex. Leah! Leah! Leah, I'm still alive. If you can hear me, stay where you... How can this be? Sweet devilry. This is Barrosa. I'm at the Battle of Barrosa. Boom, boom. Battle of Barrosa was an actual battle that took place during the Napoleonic Wars. This is in Barrosa, Spain. Had to do a fair amount of research, actually, to do this episode and the next couple episodes, because it gets very historical, alternate historical. Cthulhu. Oui, Barrosa. Where we first met, no? Pointu, you traitorous wretch. Barrosa, where I betrayed great Napoleon to join your crossing of the Atlantic. I was not the only traitor on this battlefield. I'm going to start over again because I'm not feeling good about this accent. Although I like the way I drew this horse. Let me start over. Barrosa, where I betrayed great Napoleon to join your crossing of the Atlantic. I was not the only traitor on this battlefield, Henry. Did you not abandon your king and country here, mon ami? Do not toy with me, you scheming bastard. Where's Leah? Lost in La Magie as the rest of us, I imagine. Or perhaps she has left us too, no? So, in this episode, we get to see Jacques Pointu as a younger man, and before he was a vampire or a feeder, what have you. This is Pointu as a human. I was trying to guess what age he is, and I can't remember what age I picked. It's between 25 and 30, possibly a little older than 30. Get down here, you prick. Sacre bleu. You see that Pointu is writing a necromancer here. Wham. I trusted my life to you. Leah trusted you. And you use us as bloodbinds for your petty turf war with that thrift store cult leader? Did it never occur to you to try and break us from your curse? Je suis désolé. The king's English, you ass! I am terribly sorry, my friend. I am sorry. I was mistaken. I thought you were gone. I only saw the cats, so I gave that duty to Hampton, so I would not have to see you any longer. I put you in grave danger countless times for my profit. I thought it would be better than letting you rot in a cage. Ravenstone's curse, it made me incapable, but it is no excuse. I betrayed you, no? I drank my misery into oblivion, and you all suffered for it. I cared only for my freedom, Henri, and you all suffered for it. The Battle of Barrosa. Why are we here? Ooh. So clearly the battle's just raging on behind them this whole time. The sigil I used to break Ravenstone's curse. It has a mind of its own. I fear my actions have catalyzed the sigil to act in self-defense. So, I don't know. I mean, this is the only point in the story I even make this clear as like what the hell just happened in the arena. Basically, when Pointu got his arm blown off, the sigil was still active, and it was acting out of self-defense for Pointu. And out of self-defense for Pointu, it basically sucked him into the hole, along with everybody else with it. Sort of like a last-ditch effort. So the others, do you think they may be here with us? Je ne sais pas. I do not know. Henri, we may be lost in la magie for eternity. To be continued. So some thoughts. Just, one of the first things I started thinking about, first of all, I really like the way that this episode actually holds up pretty well in terms of just overall drawing. I mean, this is more than a year ago. I mean, maybe a year and a half at this point. I was really feeling this episode because this was the episode in which we finally kind of get to see the relationship between Henry and Pointu, because, like, previously we only kind of see Henry as a servant to Pointu. We don't really get a lot of context between them. And this is the first time where we kind of see them on an even playing field, because first and foremost, this is the first time we see, since Jake's flashback anyway, we see Henry and Pointu. We see Henry as a human, or Henry as not a cat, I should say. And we see Pointu, as a human. It's interesting. I think this is one of my better written episodes, and there are a lot of people who felt that way, and there are a lot of people who didn't feel that way, right? There are a lot of people who did not like this turn in the story because, I mean, other than the Equimancer joke, this isn't a comedic episode, right? And I added that joke because I did want to, I felt like there needed to be something. I try to usually have at least one gag or one joke in every episode when I can. I think especially in this season, there are a couple episodes where that doesn't happen. We'll see as we go along because I can't remember very well. But this webtoon is technically categorized as comedy, right? And this part of the season gets very uncomedic. And just because it's labeled as comedy doesn't mean it has to always be comedic every episode. But I want to try and keep it within that vein, right? At the same time, I personally, when I'm writing, I don't like being caged in by a notion of genre, and maybe that's just me being, what's the word? Stubborn, maybe. Maybe that's one way of putting it. But another way of putting it for me, I guess, is that when I'm writing a story, I want to write a story that is as encompassing of reality as I can, which means it is comedic. Sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's exciting. It's all those things. It's life. And that is where I'm going with my direction in this part of the season, right? Is I want to cover all those other aspects of life, all the other aspects of, like, the human will of emotion, basically. And also, I just wanted to do this, like, further digging into the relationships that have been established, because we really don't know that much, right? And so this, I thought, was a pretty good opportunity. Now, granted, as we go along, we're going to find that the narrative is a little bit non-linear, right? It's a little bit confusing at first. It gets tricky. And going back to how people were responding when this was first published, a lot of people didn't like it. They did not like the way the story was going. They were too confused. They didn't understand what was happening. They didn't really want to stick with it. There were a lot of people who felt like it was worth going through the confusion because at a certain point everything gets explained. It's just getting through those episodes. And I wanted to make another thing I wanted to do with this season is I wanted to make a storyline that was a little bit challenging. I'm not with Trailer Park Warlock. I'm not gonna do that again. I had my fun. I had my fun with this season. Anyway, with all that being said, we will dive further into these thoughts. But until then, if you want to talk with me about Trailer Park Warlock, storytelling in general, or even just like some of your favorite fantasy stories, shows, whatever, please feel free to leave a comment. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying these. And you can also talk to me on Twitter. It's at Matt J. Rainwater. On Instagram, it's at Matthew Rainwater. And you can also subscribe to my Patreon, where I have behind-the-scenes processes for Trailer Park Warlock and lots of other goodies. Then that's at patreon.com/MattJRainwater. Anyway, until next time, I hope you're having a good one, and we will talk again soon. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye.